Hey y'all, how y'all doing?
Hey, Brad.
Hey, good morning.
So did you run that 5K yesterday too?
I did.
Congratulations. I almost threw up in my mouth when I saw that.
Thank you. Yeah, it was well, we walked most of it, but it was for
Yeah.
my girlfriend's birthday.
Happy birthday to your girl.
Yeah, thank you. I'll let her know. You said that. But yeah,
All
it was a lot
right.
of fun. All right. Hey, good morning, Don.
I can't hear. Just give me a second. I'm trying to figure out my volume. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yep.
Oh, okay. Good
All right.
morning.
Good morning. Awesome. So we're just gonna wait one more minute here, let some more people hop on real quick. Then we'll get going. Just have a few questions in the beginning. I know a bunch of people liked the video last week, so I have another video to share. It's probably won't watch the whole thing, but we'll watch for the majority of it. And then a couple questions after. All right, it's 11 o'clock. We'll get started. So, today we're going to be talking about commands and smart plans and a few other things, mainly, how to command your database, how to make it better for you, and how to use it to uh, use it to your best ability. So with that, I wanted to ask you, y'all that are on here, um, how do you think you could benefit? How do you think your business will benefit? Using command at a high level. You think it will, um, make your business run smoother so that you can, make more phone calls or send more emails? What do you guys think? So think about that. Um, and then, how do you currently manage follow-up? So, like, for instance, for Don, and Steve, how do you currently manage your follow-up with people who you speak with?
I mean, I pretty much, like for example, open houses. It's usually a text within the first hour and then a follow-up call the next day, um, and then emails. But I have to be held accountable for not using command as much as I should be.
We can definitely hold you accountable. Hey, Mike, good morning.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah, so I just asked them, and I was right before you jumped on, that we're going to be talking about commands and how to command your database. And one of my first questions was, how do you think using smart plans and tagging, how do you think it will benefit your business? So that was the first question.
Yeah, so for me, I'm new to this area, so I'm trying to build out a Florida database. I have a couple hundred people from New York, but tagging is going to be crucial for me because I want to make sure that I'm developing messages to send to the New York folks and then
Hmm.
respectively locally. That's like the biggest thing for me so far. I haven't started any actual smart plans yet because still kind of thinking it through, and there's so much going on at like every different stage of all of this. But yeah, I've been leveraging command, and my plan is to get smart plans for some of these Florida folks that I've already recently added.
Awesome. I love it. Good job.
Thanks.
How's the websites going for you?
Pretty good. I mean, I have this digital marketing background, so I'm trying to kind of tear myself away from like looking at the analytics every day.
Yeah.
I enjoy that. I'm like, this is not going to get me lead gen. Like,
Yeah.
you can't count these users. So, but good. I mean, it's something that where I've built a foundation for my content, right? So every time I talk about Lakewood Ranch or anything like that, I'm sending traffic to that site.
Yep. Love that. Good
Yep.
job.
Thanks.
Yeah. Um, and then I also asked, how do you currently follow up with the people you have now?
I always start off with a phone call, try to have the conversation. If I have to leave a message or I don't get some of these people on the phone, I'll follow up with text and email. I try to just mix it up and see if I can get any response, any which way.
Nice. Perfect. Yeah. Yeah. I did the same thing, phone call, then text, email, and then a video, like a video text,
Yeah,
which usually,
I like that video text play. I haven't done that
yeah,
yet, but I do include screenshots of like my face, my contact information, just so they have a face coming along with it.
good.
Because people are, more emotionally connected to a person than just a text. So
Agreed. Yeah. No, that's awesome. All right. So then I'm going to jump into this video. Let's see. Just give me 1 second here. All right, gonna- So it's like I said, it says it's a 45-minute video. We're not going to watch all 45 minutes of it, but I just wanted to touch on the key points that they talk about here. So just let me know when you're able to see my screen. Give me a thumbs up if you could see the screen. And do you see a gentleman in front? Is it a video? Okay, cool.
Your business and your future. This is one of the things I'm most passionate about. I'm a real estate agent
Y'all
too,
can
and I
hear
have
it?
teams here in Austin, Texas. And this
Maybe a
is
little
something
bit louder.
is your database is the number one reason you're successful in real estate, period. It's all about your database and how you feel that database. And we're going to talk about it today and how it relates to Command and how you can grow that. So thank you for joining us today. Because you're here today, we get to talk through this awesome topic. Not only do you get a session that I'm presenting, I don't get to do a lot of these, but I also get to talk about something that I'm really passionate about. So hopefully I'm able to impart you with some things that can help you go and begin to grow your database and grow your business ultimately. So some things that we want to do is we want to get clear on how many contacts you need to reach to hit your financial goals. We want to teach you how to feed your database in new ways. Use smart plans to systematically communicate with your database as it grows and scales. And then lastly, track your contacts engagement inside of the new tools and tech that we're building in labs for you, the agents. So our agenda, today's goal, focus on your database, take control of your future. 2, we want to get excited. Real estate data is a database business. If you're not excited about your database and how you can grow that and interact with it, then you're doing it wrong. Number 3, we want to get into action. We want to focus on lead generation, building that database so you actually have some people to talk to. So, what is the one thing, and this is a question for anybody out there on Slido, you can give us feedback through Slido, or if you're in the classroom right now, what is the one thing that makes one real estate agent more successful than other real estate agents? See if we can get some feedback there. And I know Slido's a little bit delayed, so Amy, we got how many people they have in their Met database? Absolutely, but to get people in your Met database, you need to be pulling people in your database, period. But part of that is lead generation. I have met with a lot of successful agents, a lot of successful teams all across the country. The one thing that sets them apart is their dedication to building their database through lead generation. So we have a system built inside of Command that will help make this simple and easy for you. And I just want to walk through that really quick and what that looks like. This is our lead gen model. This is our whole prospecting model, all the way from bringing people into your database, your not mets or your captured, all the way through closed, and what that cycle looks like when you repeat it. So the one thing, you have prospecting and marketing, number 1 up here at the top. As you prospect and you market and you capture contact information, you capture contacts at open houses or online, whatever that looks like, they get marked as captured and they come in as leads into Command. Leads are where you are offering them something. It's a one-way offer-based touch program. You're trying to get them to interact with you so you can begin to have a real estate conversation. Once you've connected with those contacts, those leads, they become METs or connecteds. Just so everybody knows, the terms captured and connected line up exactly with not METs and METs. It's terminology in the new MREA models. Just wanted to get that out there so that people were clear on what that meant. Once we connect with them, they move over into our contacts. Contacts and leads are 2 very separate buckets right now inside of Command. Those are merging into one, so you can see them all in one place. So that should be coming in the next few weeks, so keep a lookout for that. It's going to be a really powerful way for you to manage your database and manage your relationships. Once they go into contacts, these are interactive value-based programs. You're trying to create value with your database, with your contacts, with your customers, so that they begin to build up some trust in you so they can trust you with the real estate business that they have. After they've raised their hand and maybe they have a need to buy or sell real estate and they have a timeline in mind, you can begin to move them into cultivate. This is where we're nurturing, we're cultivating relationships with these people to bring them closer to the point where they actually want to set an appointment with you to make their real estate dreams a reality. So those are interactive and action-based touch programs. We're getting them a little bit closer to the bottom of that funnel by moving them into cultivate, which lives inside of the sales pipeline. So inside of the sales pipeline, you can set them up on inside of the cultivate phase and one of the stages that you've set up. And these are the people that you are interacting with to try and move them through to have an appointment with you so they can begin to sign a real estate contract. So a buyer representation agreement or a seller representation agreement. And then we move them into active and then hopefully under contract and closed and start that cycle over again, because real estate is cyclical with our clients. We know that they're going to buy and sell multiple times over their lifetime. So this is the way that we've set up this model, and I can zoom into a little bit more. Prospecting through captured leads to contacts. As they get connected, we move them into cultivate, whether it's a lead that expresses a need right there or a contact. At the same time, we have this model. We also have this model built out for teams, because we understand there's not just one way that there's not just the single agent doing business. There's also teams and different ways that teams do business. So we have this idea around team-owned leads and team-owned contacts in the database that you're building. And these are leads, these are contacts that are being generated by the team, or honestly, however it is that your team defines what team-owned contacts or leads look like. We're going to make this super flexible for you, so you can differentiate between team-owned and agent-owned. Agent-owned being, for example, in my organization, agent-owned is their sphere. The people they brought into the organization, their database they brought over with them, and that is also lives inside of their sphere. Those are agent-owned leads. Then we have team-owned or agent-owned contacts, and then we have the team-owned leads and contacts that we then assign to the agents so that they can go out and begin to build relationships with them and build their business off of the leverage the team is giving them. So that's the difference between agent-owned and team-owned. And I know we talk about this all the time. Every single live stream we bring this up. We just want to make it really clear to you that this is where how Command is being built and what the model is supporting. Again, you can also move it down to cultivate. We also have team-owned and agent-owned and cultivate and all throughout the pipeline. But this whole thing that we're talking about today is your database. The middle piece of this, not prospecting marketing, not the sales pipeline. We want to talk about your database, your not Mets and Mets. You're captured and you're connected, and how we interact with them and why this is so important to your real estate business. So I got a question. How many contacts do you think an agent who earns $2 million or more in GCI, how many contacts do you think they have in their database? I'll wait a second for Slido to catch up. Wild guesses. What do we get? Anything? You got anything, Amy? 5,000. 5,000. And I'll wait for these Slido things to come in, and let's see if you were right. The actual number is 13,000, 13 to 14,000. I saw we did get some answers from Slido. We got 1,000 in there. It's actually 13 to 14,000 to generate $2 million or more in GCI. That is a lot of people inside of your database, and it requires a lot of touches, almost 14,000 contacts. When you look at this data, deciphering how gross commission is correlated with the database size and average annual touches, what do you notice? Right? What do we notice? We notice that as these numbers grow on the left side, as this gross commission number grows, so do our average annual touches. The agents that are getting $50,000 to $100,000 in gross commission are only touching about 20 times, 19 times on an annual basis. And the ones that are making the most money are touching well over 30 times. And you do see there's a dip down here in this middle. As your database scales and the size scales, you need to be able to have systems and processes in place to be able to maintain those number of touches with a higher number of contacts, which is probably why we see the dip right there. That as those databases grow, it's harder to scale those touches as easily. And then once they actually figure out how to scale those touches across as many contacts as possible, you begin to figure it out and make the money you want to make to be that millionaire real estate agent that you want to be. So there's a definite, so it's not just about the size of the database that determines your GCI. Both the size and the frequency of how you communicate with them determines the size of your bank account. As the size of the database grows, it becomes more difficult to stay on top of 30 to 40 annual touches. You need to build relationships. This is where we talk about scaling these touches, being able to have systems and processes in place to scale them. Command is going to be able to automate this for you, to take the functionary off your plate so you can grow to be the business that you want to be and scale it as big as you want to get. That is the whole idea behind what we're doing inside of Command, is to help support you and your business and take that functionary off your plate. So I have a question, and Amy, because you're in the classroom, I have this question directly pointed to you. Do you have, and anybody on Slido, do you have the right number of contacts in your database to achieve your goals? No? No? Okay. And anybody on Slido, this is a very, lead generation is a numbers game. So let's backtrack to see how many contacts you need in your database to meet whatever your goals are. And let's just use, let's just use 45 opportunities, or how many closings? Let's use 50 closings as our number. That's what I'm going to use in here. So 900 as an example. This is a lead generation game. You need 900. If you have 900 people in your database, and I know we had 1,000 was one of the comments of how many they thought they needed. Divide this number by 10, because we're assuming that 10% of your database is going to move on a given year. Obviously, that's going to be a quality database, so you want to make sure your database is quality. So let's take the database size of 900. Let's divide it by 10. And let's multiply that by a conversion rate of 50%. Now, hopefully your conversion rate is better than that. But let's use very conservative number, 50% as a conversion rate. So if you have 900 contacts in your database, 10% of them are moving on a yearly basis, and half of those people use you for their transaction, you can close about 45 opportunities in a year, right? So if you aren't hitting your numbers, there are two things that you can do. You can increase the number of contacts in your database, or increase your conversion rate by having more touches with them. So I'm going to show you something real quick. Inside of Command, actually we can backtrack the other way with this. Let's say that your unit goal was 50. You can also multiply that times 10, divide it by your conversion rate, so it's just backwards, notice that, and you can get the number of contacts that you need in your database to hit your goal. Now these are the number of contacts you need to hit your goal that you need to be following up with. It's a numbers game, but it's also a number of touches game. You can't just have them there and expect them to just come to you for the real estate needs. You have to follow up with them, and as we see, over 30 times, more than likely. So with that, let's jump into Command and show you where we talk about how much money you're going to make. Let's dive into the sales pipeline. It says opportunities right now, but when you click into it, it says sales pipeline. I'm using David's account, so hopefully I don't mess it up. He'll get mad at me for that. As this loads. So we're going to look right here. We're going to look at probable versus potential GCI, probable versus potential income. Over here on the right side, we have listings, we have buyers, we have leases. On the right side, we have probable income, which is adjusted commission based on each stage's probability to close, and you can set those as you set up those stages. We also have potential income. A lot of real estate agents that I know, once they get something under contract, or once they go to an open house and somebody said, yeah, they want to look for homes, they immediately count that as money they're going to make. And they go out and they go spend all that money. Go buy a new car, go to Nordstrom, buy too many clothes. They spend it without understanding that real estate is not a sure thing, or you picking up a client is not a sure thing, right? So that even if you got the buyer signing an agreement, doesn't necessarily mean you're going to find them a house. Just because you got it under contract doesn't mean you're going to get paid on that. So we have the difference between probable and potential income. We wanted to show you what your pipeline total value is if you had 100% conversion rate on everything you're working with, but also the probability of what based on the probabilities that you put in place, and eventually we're going to help you put in place based on your actual numbers, what the probable income you're going to make is. Now, don't go spend probable income before you make it. That is a bad decision. I've done that before. It will always get you in trouble. So this is a great place where you can go and see what is your database actually worth. Are you making the money you want to make based on the probabilities that you have to close that are actually showing up inside of your pipeline? So look at that. Another thing I want to show too is we want to talk about database health. Inside of Command, we have a report that's called the Database Health Report. What I want to show you here is I want to show you how the sales pipeline, you can see where the sales pipeline, where people drop off. It shows you where to focus your business on to increase your conversion rates. So down here at the bottom, you dive into the buyer opportunity report, listing opportunity report. You can begin to see where people are dropping off inside of this tool. And we're making this better for you so you understand what your pipeline looks like, kind of like those multi-year, we want to also bring in multi-year trend reports, all the typical stuff that you're looking at so we can make you smarter about your business, and also give you a good health score of your database. I think this is really huge for you to be able to go in and say, okay, how healthy is my database? I have 1,000 people in my database, but I only have half the phone numbers, no addresses, no birthdays. That's really an indication of how connected you are to the people in your database, and the chances of them actually using you go up the more information you have, because you can have better conversations with them. So I encourage you to go in here, use the sales pipeline, use database health to help inform how you're using your database and building relationships. Also, the database activity score is really huge. This is all about connecting with the people in your database. Look at those. Those are at the top for a reason, because of how important this is to you and building your business the way you want it to build, the way you want to build it. So what are the 4 laws of lead generation? The 4 laws of lead generation are: build your database, feed your database, communicate to your database, and service your database. So that's importing contacts into Command or adding them manually, adding new contacts every day, not just building your database with what you have inside of Command, but adding new ones every single day. This is bold. This is your 10 contacts. You need to go out there. You need to meet new people. You need to build your database. And then you need to communicate with them. But build systems to regularly stay in touch with your contacts. You need to create some automation in here, but also add that personal touch so they feel connected to you. And lastly, you want to service. Track each lead from first contact to close. You want to know where they are in the process so you can service them appropriately. Otherwise, you're going to be calling them, communicating with them, and not have any insights into why you should actually be reaching out to them. Every single one of these steps is integral. If you just focused on this, if you're just starting in real estate and you just focus on this every single day, you are going to build a massive business. So focus on these 4 laws of lead generation. They are really huge. Now let's dive into them a little bit more in depth so we can get deeper. So law 1, build. What does this look like? Well, there's a few different things you can do with this. You can import your contacts into Command by leveraging PySync, using the import template. Make sure you add tags before you import so you can slice and dice that how you want. You can also add them manually. I'm a big fan of adding them manually because then you know you got it right. And there aren't any missteps with any of the synchronization or importing. So I would highly encourage to do that. And it's also a great opportunity for you to reach out to them in the first place and put them in there. And also make sure that you have complete contact information, because if you reach out to them saying you're updating your records, you can make sure that you have complete contact information based on how you want that to show up in Command. Lastly, add neighborhoods to your contacts. This is another great tool for you. When you add their addresses, we're automatically going to add neighborhoods to them so that you can begin to stand up these neighborhood landing pages for them. And then you begin to offer them a service and a connection to you where you're creating touches with them without you having to do much. Whether it's through the smart plans that we're setting up for you, or it's them just going to the website to find out more information about what's going on in their neighborhood with the housing market. Super powerful tool, hyper custom to each specific contact you have in your database. Make sure you are utilizing that to the fullest. So I'm going to show you where to do some of this real quick. Inside of Command, inside of contacts, If you want to add contacts to your database, you want to import them, we have an import button up here at the top. Make sure you download the pre-made CSV file. So you may download the spreadsheet of all your data from another system, and you may want to upload it automatically. I would encourage you not to do that. I would encourage you to download this also, and then copy and paste the information from that spreadsheet to the spreadsheet we provided for you. Because if you use this one, it's going to make sure that you have as little errors as possible in the data. So use this, move it over, upload it into Command, and it may take a little bit of time, but it will begin to add all that information into Command. Also, you can use PySync, which is in settings. And we have other classes on these too, so make sure to tune into those if you're very interested in how to do this. Inside of PySync, you can connect an account. Chances are that the CRM that you are using has some sort of connection built into PySync, and that will automatically synchronize your database into Command so that you can just click on it. You can filter it any way you want to filter it and bring all the data over that you want to bring over. It is a super powerful tool that we've stood up for you, so make sure you understand it before you actually use it to its fullest extent. We also have a connection to eEdge too, so if you're using eEdge right now, that's your best bet right there. Number two, you want to make sure that, so first, also, again, my favorite, add contact. You want to make sure you add contact, put as much information in here as possible. This is going to be the best way to do it. But once you have a contact in the system, and it looks like David has no contacts in here, so I'm going to put me. So you have very basic information. You can click into your contact. Looks like I have a glitch right now because we are live. Nothing will ever go wrong. This says that I'm view only. When you click into the contact, you should be able to edit it up here to make sure it has all the information that you need. Let's see if this works. Oh, that let me edit it. So this you can also click over here and hit edit also. Let's say that my preferred method of contact is text message or do not contact. I don't want David to call me. I've got my phone number in there. I put my address, date of birth, any relationships. You can begin to add this stuff in here to build your database and build your relationships. Highly encourage you to be able to do that. Highly encourage you to do that so you can begin to build these relationships and leverage smart views. I don't think we talk about smart views much inside of here, but leverage smart views to keep in touch with your contacts. It's all about your database. I'm going to talk about that here in a minute. I did have a question from Slido. Does PySync upload Outlook as well as iPhone information? We do have a synchronization with Office 365. Not sure how much information that pulls over. I don't use it personally, but I would encourage you to go in there into PySync. I think it does connect to the contacts actually, so go in there, connect it, and when they connect, it'll be able to pull it over. It'll show you right there if it's working and what specifically it's pulling over. So I would try that out. So I have a question. What strategies have you implemented to help you build a meaningful database? I've told you mine. I would encourage you to do it one at a time, but what strategies have you implemented? Anybody on the live stream or in the classroom to help you build a database, a meaningful database?
All right. All right, so I just wanted to share that with y'all. I'm not quite sure why it was quiet. Sorry about that if it was a little too quiet for you guys. However, all right, stop sharing my screen. I had another questions for you. So my first question, so he didn't really talk too much about merge fields because we really didn't get into the other part of that goes a little bit more into smart plans and stuff like that. But do you guys know what a merge field is? Okay. So it's a really cool tool. When you're in a smart plan, you're creating one. Instead of putting just like, hey, comma, in an email, I should say, or text, hey, comma, and then, the message, you're not really personalizing it. The merge tool is to personalize a message. So you can do a number of different things, but one is just to put recipient's name. That'll be in a merge field. There's an area to click it. So then every person that it goes to, it'll have that person's name. It won't just say, hey, it'll be more customized to them. And then there will be a merge field of your information you could put in there, your phone number, your business, whatever that may be. So there's that in there. And then there's tags. You mentioned tagging your people. Tagging people is very important because you can create a smart plan which will be triggered by a tag. So if you just tag, say you tag a buyer, a hot buyer, that tag would trigger a smart plan to happen. And we'll have a class on that probably next month about triggering. But we'll be able to you tag them, and then right away they're on a smart plan as long as you have an email, and they'll start getting getting emails, and you'll be on that drip campaign. Um, but now my bigger, I want to hear some of was there any questions? Did you guys take away anything from that video? I really like the numbers in the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of gives you a good sense of, how many contacts you should have and the importance of it.
Hmm. Exactly. That's exactly that.
One
So
oh, go ahead, sorry.
no, go for it.
I was just gonna say one thing I've been thinking about and it's related is when we talk about adding contacts and the quality of the contacts, should you just basically be adding, any names, numbers? Because he mentioned no have met and not met, right? So
Mhm.
obviously a met contact has more value than a not met but it sounds like you should be adding even the not met. Like if you get leads from like one of these phone call servicing, you never met them, you're just getting data, you're calling them, you have their name, their number, email. Do you add them as a contact? I guess is my question.
Yes. Yeah, you would want to add every single you person and every single person you have or has been sent to you or anything like that, you would want to add them there. Yep. It's a great question. And it's how you build your database. So you get all of those people, your 150, 200 people in your database will grow exponentially. Now,
Yeah.
some of them might be dead leads. That's okay. You're going to get those. But then some of those, when you're in the business 2, 3 years and you're still calling them, which is good, why you should get good notes and leave left voicemail, hasn't picked up, whatever. But when you call them and eventually they're going to want to, buy or sell. Every 3 years, somebody goes through through something and buys or sells. So, um, it's definitely smart to do.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Great question. Anybody else with any other questions?
I don't have a
Oh,
question, but I thought it was a good idea to make my database bigger.
yeah,
Is I would save every business card. And so like I've got hundreds of business cards. The
I
other day
like
I
that.
said, I was like, wow. And so I was thinking about I already started it. I'm going to start putting them into my database. So that's something too. Like, I don't know if any of you collect them, and I don't know, some business cards are old. You could check to see if they're still in business, but they know you and you're like, oh yeah, I remember him. And then you could put it in your database.
Yeah,
So I
that's
just,
awesome. Yeah, it's good too. Like, and for that kind of thing too, if you have business cards, and they're for like carpentry or roofers or anything like that, you put them in your database and tag them as a vendor as well. Um,
right.
and that's a good thing to have too, because if you hold an event for a client event, you can give them a call and be like, hey, I'm having a client event. You're part of, I kept your card. Would you like to come sponsor? Would you like to, come
Eh,
do something? Yeah, that's a great point, Don. Yeah, appreciate that. And then my final question is, what are we going to do to grow your database? What are the next steps you want to do starting today to help grow your database? Hold open houses. That's one. I'll give you a free one. So that one. But what else? What are you guys going to do or continue to do to help grow your database?
I think prior to me becoming a real estate agent, I was in marketing and assisted livings. So my sphere is huge.
Hmm.
And I just have to get feet on the ground and back into those communities and kind of remind them where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
for
Yeah, that's
sure.
awesome. Yeah, that's
Because,
smart.
with marketing, especially assisted livings, they're coming in with urgency to move into an assisted living, or families are doing it. And, I heard it for 18 years of, well, I got to sell mom or dad's house before we even do anything.
Yep.
So, that's the big thing, is making myself known.
Yeah. Be the realtor of choice for them.
Yep.
What about you, Mike? What are you going to do to help grow your database?
So I've had a couple things, I did start exploring, I think it's called myplusleads .com. It's a source that gives you, expireds and FISBOs. So start calling folks. That's one thing I was exploring. For me, just my daily conversations with neighbors, anyone I come in contact with, I always, not always, but if it makes sense, just and they ask me what I'm up to, I tell them something that's real estate related to remind them I'm in real estate, and that's already provided me a really good lead, so I'm happy with that. But really for me, I want to find the best way to immerse myself in the community around here and just meet as many people as possible, because I feel like there's that whole local approach and knowing people, and then there's everything else. So
Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, you definitely want to be the local constant choice. So that's perfect. Um, I don't know if you're still there, Don, but what about you?
Give me a second.
No, you're good. You're good.
I'm going to continue with putting the business cards, in my database, and also connecting into the areas where I do my activities like art, the artist community. I thought about reaching out to the artist community, and also in ministry. I have a lot of friends that are pastors and ministers and things like that. It's just I'm not very good at marketing, and it's like I'm good at
Yeah.
social. I'm good at talking to people. I'm good at feeling for people, empathizing and knowing what they want and all that. But when it comes to the marketing part, but as far as a database, I think as far as reaching out to the areas that I'm social with, I guess that's my start of trying to add more even.
Yeah, no, that's great. And especially, being social and going out in the community. Um, if you have your name badge, wear your name badge out there. And if somebody will see it and there'll be a conversation starter, be like, oh, I just got done with the showing, or yeah, I'm in real
Yeah.
estate. So that goes a long way too.
And I'm trying to connect, believe it or not, I was in Blue Ridge, and Blue Ridge is a place a lot of Florida people have been coming to our area. It's become really touristy. It used to be a quiet town. It's really not anymore.
Hmm.
And I was going into the shops and just saying hello to everybody. My husband had a business in downtown Blue Ridge. And just talking to people, I was talking to this one woman, and she says, well, my mom wants to go back to Florida. I'll be in Florida next week in St. Pete. Maybe you can show my mom some houses or connect, or I could help them.
Yeah.
So, it's interesting. I think it's going to be a good bridge for me. And I'm also trying to get licensed in Georgia. I already put my application in, and working with Keller Williams. Yeah, it's already in. In fact, I call them almost every other week because I'm like, oh, I'm waiting and waiting and waiting.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to be patient because I want to start kind of connecting the bridge from Blue Ridge and that. And so that's exciting. And I'm connecting with Keller Williams and Blue Ridge. And they're great people. They're great, people to talk to, and they're awesome like you guys are. So anyway, but yeah, so it's taking time. It's like I want things to happen overnight, but I know this takes time to build your database and to build those relationships and to
Yeah.
do all that. So
Yeah. No, thank you for sharing and good luck. You kick butt. Um,
thanks.
but yeah, but does anybody else have any questions or anything else that we all could, help you move your business forward? Yeah, that's all right. But if you think of anything, feel free to reach out, text me or call me. In the chat, I put the video link. If you guys want to finish the video, so I put that link in there. And then next, I forget what it is next Monday, but it'll be a good topic. Are we
Yep.
enjoying the videos? I know you guys have been on the past 2 times. Are the videos okay? All right, because
yeah,
I don't want
Yep.
to overdo them.
no, I
What was
think
that, Mike?
I think they're helpful. Yeah, no, it's it's good for, the discussion. It's great.
Good. Awesome. I love it. Okay, cool. Well then, yeah, if you need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out, give me a call, and we'll work something out, all right?
Thanks,
All right,
Brad.
y'all.
Thank you, Brad. Thanks.
Thank
Yep.
you.
See you, John, in the training room.